What is up, everybody? Neon here, doing probably the first time I've ever really attempted this. A Pokemon Wi-Fi battle with my own commentary. This isn't live, so what I'm going to be showing you is a recording, obviously. But the battle is still pretty fresh in my head, because this was actually recently with a Passerby by the name of ALEXX. I really don't know how to pronounce it with two X's. I've not done this before, so as you can tell, it's not the best quality you would expect when watching these. But my phone has done good videos before, so hopefully it'll do the same for you. Capture cards for a 3DS are freaking expensive, so I wouldn't say I want to do this so much that I would go out of my way to get one. But what I hope that what I'm doing right now is enough to suffice. But enough banter. What I've got here is a battle, like I said before, with a Passerby team. With a Passerby who challenged me to a random battle. I did not challenge him in the first place for this, and because of that, I didn't have a proper team on hand. The only thing I had was in my battle box a old Trick Room team I did very early in X and Y's release, very early. As such, most of the team I thought was going to be pretty good in Smogon's tier list. Like, a lot of these Pokemon looked like they would have been doing better this generation, or at least have a good start. But not a lot of them are actually like high tier Pokemon. I think the highest is Mega Ampharos and maybe Malamar. I haven't even checked, but I do know that like Dusclops is like NU and Marowak is still the same. Carbink was unfortunately NU. So that's a bit of a shame, but you make with what you got, I guess. You make do with what you have. As such, a lot of Pokemon run the usual Trick Room gimmick. First on my list is Whim the Malamar. Malamar basically does what Malamar does best, Superpower Contrary. He also packs Night Slash, and he can also learn Trick Room, so I'm making him an offensive Trick Room lead. He also has Taunt instead of Psycho Cut, because I keep getting shut down by taunters at the time, and I don't have I don't have a Slow King or a Slow Bro with Oblivious to help out with that. So my best counter is my Malamar with Taunt. Psycho Cut's a good stab for it, and probably the one you should run with if you're using a Malamar, but in my scenario, Taunt has been more efficient. Next is Dusclops with the usual set as well. It runs Eviolite, Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp, Nightshade, and Trick Room. So it doesn't have a very big offensive presence, but it is great to wall anything that comes my way. And it outlasts just about anything I've thrown against it so far. Marowak is interesting, actually. I decided to run a subset with it. It could actually learn Focus Punch, so maybe in the future I can try to get one with Focus Punch and substitute, but not only is that a very risky combo for a Pokemon that doesn't even get stabbed from it, but this Pokemon doesn't have that many good stats in general, and all it has is an offensive presence. This thing with Thick Club, its signature item, it's like a freaking truck and a half, but it has nothing else to compensate for it, so I don't know, I want to try it out, but that won't work for now. He runs Substitute, Stone Edge, Earthquake, and for those pesky Focus Sash users, Bone Meringue, but I always forget about it half the time. I have used it correctly before, so that's good, but but that's all he's got. Next is Gawain, the Escavalier. He's an Escavalier. I hope you know what that means. He hits like a truck, and he's got Sword Stance to boost, so unless you have a Fire type, you're screwed. Mega Ampharos. Out of all the Pokemon, Mega Ampharos was my pick because it was one of the few Megas that loses speed in its stat. So this is one of the slowest electric type Pokemon out there. So I just thought it would be a great addition to the team, especially being a special wall. It has very great special defense, and its typing really helps out against Talonflame, so nothing wrong with that. Lastly, Carbink, the inspiration for the team. The only reason this thing inspired the team was because of its hidden ability, Sturdy, which makes it the only Pokemon to have both Sturdy and can learn Trick Room. Now, Pokemon Mold Breaker pretty much screwed that over, but for the most part, it makes it very valuable. Not to mention, this set runs dual screens. As for my opponent team, he has a pretty interesting team of, I wouldn't say higher tier Pokemon, but it really can perform well. First, you got Houndoom. I assumed right off the bat, it was a Mega Houndoom, and I'm not even gonna spoil it for you. He is Milotic, who acts as what Milotic does. It's a freaking special wall to the hell. Weavile, those are pretty standard. What is it called? Leafeon. I'm thinking Leavanny for some reason. No, it's Leafeon. I love Leafeon, so I'm glad to see it get used by others. Staraptor, which I'm also glad to see, because with Talonflame, you see that everywhere. And I loved Staraptor before, so to see this guy using him really brings some hope. And Glaceon, the lesser half of the two evolutions from Sinnoh. Still pretty good, but not the best in my opinion. Alright, I hope you skip 6 minutes into this, because Banch is over. I'm going to start the battle. So, as far as leads go, I was remembering at the time, it was either Cardbank or Malamar. And for this set, I went with Malamar, just on the off chance he started with Milotic. But he instead goes with Glaceon, which is interesting, but he goes for Echoed Voice. I understand Echoed Voice gets more powerful with each use, but a normal type move for Glaceon, there's just some better options out there. Plus, I don't even know why he stayed in. He knows Malamar runs Superpower, or at least he should know. So I go for the Superpower. I get the boost right away. I forget, did I get Trick Room up? Yeah, I got Trick Room up earlier. So I go... Oh no, I didn't get Superpower up. I just went straight for Superpower, because it's a Glaceon. I didn't think it can do much to me. That Echoed Voice really does pack a punch, but I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, no, I do have Trick Room up because this guy sends out Staraptor, who tried to intimidate me, but joke's on him, I'm a Malamar, but joke's on me, he has a priority move in the form of Quick Attack, so I kinda got screwed over. So my best bet was to go to my Ampharos, which on the Trick Room makes it a friggin' mess. Go for the obvious Mega, and hit him with a Stab Thunderbolt. I don't know why he stayed in, because he has a Leafeon, and this was very predictable. Plus, Ampharos doesn't get a lot of good moves against Leafeon in general. Actually, no, that's not true, because those things don't have good special defense. I guess I shouldn't be boasting in his favor. He didn't have a lot of options. He goes to Weavile. I don't really want to get hit with an Ice Shard, so I switch him out for Cleopatra, the Dusclops. This thing could tank anything. I'm not afraid if he went for Night Slash, but he goes for Fake Out. So, I don't know why he runs Fake Out on a Weavile over Ice Shard, but I'm not complaining. So he switches out into Leafeon, as I go for the Trick Room setup, which was pretty obvious at this point. I know Leafeon's a very offensive, so I go for Will-O-Wisp. I miss, and he hits with Grass Whistle. Now, I never see this move at all. Grass Whistle is just a horrible move, but I'm not going to say that because it's obviously working for this guy, and Will-O-Wisp isn't working for me. So I'm kind of screwed there, so I switch it out, and I go straight into Jupiter to tank any kind of grass hit. But joke's on me, he goes with Sword Stance. Now, that would be a problem, because Ampharos doesn't have the best defense. But with the Trick Room up, I can just go for a Dragon Pulse, which kills this thing, just murders this thing right in the inside. I love you, Leafeon, but your special defense sucks. So he goes to Milotic, and I'm thinking, okay, these things may be specially defensive, but I'm a freaking Mega. I can kill it with the Thunderbolt. And I don't. Not only do I fail to kill it, but it kills me with Mirror Coat. I completely forgot those things carry Mirror Coat. Should try that out, actually. That's not a bad idea. But he kills my only Mega, my only way to kill this thing in like 2 shots. So I thought the best idea was to go into Cleopatra, just to stall this thing out. He goes for the Recover, smart play on his hand, because, what did I do here? Oh, right, because I'm asleep. He can't do anything to me, that's why I went into this thing. So I wanted to wake up my Cleopatra so that I can set up a Trick Room and do some damage. He goes for the Scald here, and I managed to wake up and set up more Trick Room. And so after this part I thought, he's got leftovers, so I wanna neutralize the leftovers right now. I don't have knockoff. Can this thing get knockoff? I should look that up after this. I go for the Will-O-Wisp, and I managed to hit it this time, thank God. So now my Lodic doesn't have leftover support. He hits me with another Scald, and, well, yeah, I kinda got burned too. You play with fire, you get burned, boy. So I'm kind of at a downside. I'm at a disadvantage right now. But whatchamacallit, I need to keep this thing alive in case I needed more Trick Room support. So I go for Pain Split, which my Lodic has a lot of health, at least compared to Dusclops. It has a lot of health, so I'm able to do more damage than I am recovery, if that makes sense. So he goes at it with more Scald. I don't get why he switches out. He has a Houndoom, and he knows my entire moveset at this point. I can't burn it with Will-O-Wisp, and I sure as hell can't do any damage to him if I had Nightshade. So why doesn't he switch on a Houndoom is beyond me. And I also have Pokemon that can take this thing out, like my Escavalier, but I don't want to switch into a Scald and get burned. So it's pretty hard for me to stay in this situation, so I thought the best idea was to stall this thing out. And at this point, I'm just going to warn you guys, this stall fest goes out for 10 freaking turns. You might want to skip ahead to this point of the video. I'll put an annotation somewhere. He starts firing Dragon Pulse, which I don't get why. It's not a stab move. It's not going to get that much more damage added to it. But he's probably banking on it to do something. I don't know what. Maybe a critical hit? Well, I lose Trick Room at this point, and he just keeps going at it with Dragon Pulse. I friggin' lived the critical hit with 3 health points and managed to counteract in time before the burn damage with Pain Split. At this point, we're just fighting at each other with Recovery, Dragon Pulse, and friggin' Pain Split to keep each other alive. First one down for the count is out, and probably won't win the match. At that point, he had the decision whether to kill me at the cost of his own Milotic or keep the battle going, so I went for the very safe Pain Split. He goes for the Recover. I managed to get a lot of health back and live to fight another turn. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, the burn damage alongside a Nightshade will finish this thing off for good. And this thing can't kill me. He lost his only chance to kill my Dusclops, so I'm gonna make sure he regrets it. He hits me, I hit him back with Nightshade, and his fate has been written in stone. I probably just fucked over a good quote, didn't I? Well, at least that's over with. His Milotic is down for the count, and I still get to keep my Dusclops for at least maybe one more turn of Pain Split and Trick Room. But he goes into Houndoom, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll save this thing for Death Fodder later, because this thing's only going to want to hit me with like a Dark-type move. And Cardbank completely shuts this thing down. So I go straight into him. He manages to Mega Evolve, and he goes for the Nasty Plot. I'm not worried about Nasty Plot because I have Sturdy, but he doesn't even have any good moves. I mean, he goes for this Solar Beam move, but he doesn't have Sunny Day support, so I have at least one turn to switch out. So I go into Trick Room, and I switch him into the only Pokemon that can tank Solar Beam like a champ, Gawain. I kind of fucked up this part, actually. I kind of fucked up, as you'll see. I mean, I tanked Solar Beam like a champ. That part went well. But I'm thinking Mega Horn's gonna OHKO this thing. Houndoom, at least Mega Houndoom, has pretty decent defense. And I forgot that Fire types resist Bug type moves. So the Mega Horn hits, but it doesn't kill. And I end up losing my biggest hitter because of it. So I'm thinking, shit, I'm kind of screwed now. But I still have more turn of Trick Room. So I go into my Marowak Ozarek, land the Earthquake, take it out, and all I have to worry about now is that Weavile. I have one more turn of Trick Room to worry about, and I should have gone to Cleopatra for this, but I didn't. Why? I'm a moron at times. I don't know. But he gets the fake out and stalls out my very last turn of Trick Room, and I'm screwed. So I'm thinking, at least I have enough defense to last a hit, right? No, Marowak sucks, apparently. So he gets killed by the Ice Punch, and all I have left is Carbank and a practically dead Cleopatra. I mean Dusclops. How am I going to win this? Well, I thought the best idea was to at least set up Reflect, but no, he's going to start whoring out the Sword Stance. And I didn't raise this thing to a high enough level to have Moonblast. So my only offensive move is Dazzling Gleam. It's not a bad move, but Moonblast would be a lot better right now. Because he starts whoring out the Sword Stance. I go for a Dazzling Gleam. This was his biggest mistake right here. He doesn't attack me. He could have easily hit me with Ice Punch, brought me down to Sturdy, and killed me in the next turn. But no, he instead tries to whore out the Sword Stance to Oko me, and he ends up losing to a Carbank. So that was a bit of a clutch ending. If he had attacked instead of used Sword Stance, he would have won. Cleopatra would have died the minute she set foot on that field. Carbank would not have been able to finish it off in time. That would have been game for me, but it just goes to show that sometimes if you give your support Pokemon at least something to defend themselves with, they're gonna shine through. They're gonna shine through. Now, I hope you enjoyed this battle. I hope my commentary didn't completely suck. I imagine it going a lot better in my head. Trust me. My phone's gonna die soon. Yeah, I'm recording this on my phone. Aren't I professional? And that's it. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this, maybe I'll make a few more with other passerbys and even friends. I'll link friend channels to this, to other battles if I do this. And that's it. Goodbye. If you excuse me, I gotta teach my Carbank Moonblast now.